Hey guys, it's Vic, and I am back with an ASMR update. Most of you, I think quite a large group of you, follow the podcast Instagram account, so you may have already heard my news. But I am pregnant with baby number 3. And I'm actually almost 12 weeks, which is like 3 months moving into the second trimester. I announced it on social media, believe it or not, after we had a confirmed healthy ultrasound and heartbeat. And I think I announced it earlier than the other 2 pregnancies because, I'm sorry guys, pregnancy is kicking my ass. I'm so tired, so I'm probably going to yawn a bunch in this video. I am so tired this time around. I announced it much earlier this time because this is probably almost definitely going to be my last baby, and it's my 3rd pregnancy. So I feel like if God forbid something were to happen, I would need the moral support. Not so much the sympathy, but just the support. And like I said, it's my 3rd baby. With our firstborn, we waited right until 12 weeks to announce. With my second, I think we announced around like 10 or 11 weeks. And then with this one, I went between 6 and 8 weeks and got a confirmation of a really good, healthy heartbeat. And we just announced it. But I wanted to wait until I was closer to 12 weeks on my ASMR channel, just because I've been like brain fog. It's been on my mind like mentally to make a video, but then just the day gets away from me. Excuse me. I'm busy chasing my now 5-year-old and almost 3-year-old, if you can believe that. So yeah, we are expecting baby number 3 in February. A winter baby. Poor baby. I have a May baby. My son is a May baby. My daughter was actually due November 1st or 2nd, and as you all know, she was born premature, so she came September 25th. So she's now a fall baby. And yes, it's just been absolutely wild. We had been planning for a long time. Like, I think I always knew I wanted 3 kids. We were very blessed. We got one of each. We got a boy and a girl, and they're both healthy and thriving, and hilarious. We are not finding out the gender of this baby because my husband was like, I really want the thrill of the surprise. Although, if you guys were to do a poll and say, let's take guesses on what she's having, anybody close to me will tell you I'm probably having another girl. My intuition is telling me that it's a girl. It's the exact same pregnancy that I had with my daughter. And I know this is going to sound really funny, but for those of you who are into like the universe and like have a little bit of spirituality, I believe that there's something special about both of my children, but my son has this personality, like almost like he's meant to be the only boy, if that makes sense. It's just his personality. Like, I think he would be a wonderful big brother to a little boy because he wants a brother. But just, he's like the king of the castle type thing. And it's not that we favor him, so please don't take that out of context, but he's him and she's her. And I could see more her having a little sister than him being a big brother to a boy, if that makes sense. I think you kind of have to be a mom to understand what I'm saying, like, because you know your kids and you know their personalities so well. So yeah, that is essentially where we are. I'm feeling really good. For the first, I would say 9 weeks, I was convinced I was having twins. Convinced. I had a strong twin intuition for some reason. I know it's my third baby and I'm 39, but like I'm showing, like I look like I'm probably 4 months pregnant, not just turning 3. But they say, like, yeah, of course your body changes and you put on a little bit of weight and you show faster the more kids you have. I've been feeling really good. So with my son, I was never sick. I never physically got sick to my stomach. I just was really nauseous, like on and off the whole 9 months. And I never really had an appetite. With him, I just kind of like ate and drank a lot of cold things. Watermelon, freezy pops, popsicles, stuff like that. Slushies, Slurpees. With my daughter, I don't ever remember even really having the nausea as bad as I did with my son. It was really a beautiful, really, I was very blessed. It was a really good pregnancy. And with her, I ate everything in sight. You name it, I ate it because it was my second baby. So I wasn't afraid to do things that I didn't do with my son. Like, my kids have a dietitian, as you guys know, and she told me that when you're pregnant, you can have up to 200 milligrams of coffee a day. So like with my daughter, I drank coffee, not often, but sometimes I used to treat myself. I ate cooked sushi, I ate tuna, I ate fresh lunch meat. All the things I was scared to do with my first, I did with my second. And with her, my daughter, I craved cereal. I went through boxes and boxes of cereal. Don't ask me why. I just loved all kinds of cereal. And I'm talking healthy cereal, like Raisin Bran, all the way to Captain Crunch. I just ate bowls and bowls of cereal with her. And for some reason, I really enjoyed eating like fresh lunch meat toasted sandwiches for lunch with her. Those were like my 2 cravings with her. And sweets. I love sweets. With this baby, so far, again, like with my daughter, I'll eat everything, but I love my sweets. Donuts. And I know it's bad. You guys are like, oh my God, that's so gross. Why are you eating that? It's so not healthy for the baby. Listen, everything in moderation. And I'm not a smoker. I'm not a drinker. I'm not harming my baby. If I want to eat a donut once in a while or Dairy Queen, I'm going to do it and I'm going to enjoy it. That's the beauty of being older and going through 3 pregnancies and telling the world to kiss your you-know-what because you're going to do what you want to do. You're not hurting the baby. You're not hurting yourself. I definitely try to eat healthier, though, with this one. Like, I try to do a lot of chicken salads for lunches and, like, for a snack, apple slices and peanut butter and things like that. But I have a massive sweet tooth. Same as with my daughter, massive sweet tooth. So we're not going to find out. We do have names picked out for a boy and a girl. So for a girl, we are thinking of really 2 names stand out so far. It could change. And the names are Francesca, and we would call her Frankie for short. Or I really like Juliana, but with a G. And then my husband's cousin who lives in Italy, believe it or not, she's got a very pretty name. I know some people don't like the very ethnic names, but we're Italian. I mean, we have a Luciano or Raffaella, and like I said, we're going to give this baby an Italian name. So we like Francesca, we like Juliana with a G, and my husband's cousin who lives in Italy, her name is Romina, and we think Romina is a very pretty name. But I think Juliana is like what we're sold on. So the middle name, if it's a girl, I really wanted it to be Lucia. I actually wanted Lucia for the first name, but because we have a Luciano, it's just too close. So my husband said to me the other day, he said, I want to ask you something. I want you to have an open mind. And I said, sure. Like, what is it? And he said, if we have a little girl, he goes, I think we're both pretty much in agreement. Her name would be Juliana. He said, could we give her my other grandmother who passed away, her middle name? So my husband's grandmother on his mother's side is still alive, and my daughter has her middle name. My husband's grandmother's first name is our daughter's middle name. And he said, I would really like to name our daughter, if we decide to go with Juliana, he said, I'd really like to give her my grandmother's middle name on my dad's side. And his grandmother's name was Josephine. And Josephine is a very old Italian name. Very old Italian name. And I didn't even need to think about it. Like, I said, of course. Like, absolutely. That's not even something you need to ask me permission on. I had never thought of it. But I thought Juliana Josephine is a beautiful name. And we're not going to tell any family members what we're going to name the baby. So I think it'll make my father-in-law cry if we have a girl. And I'm like getting choked up talking about it. And then when she's born, if it's a girl, if we say, hey, Dad, you want to know her name? I think he's going to cry. I think he'll be very honored because my husband's grandmother was a saint. And she was a wonderful human being. Just not a bad bone in her body. She was the sweetest little thing. So I thought it was really nice that my husband wanted to honor her, and I in turn am going to honor that. Now, if it's a boy, we are thinking the only name we're really sold on for a boy, believe it or not, is Giovanni. And we have a gazillion middle names, Italian middle names, but I thought to honor my husband, I could name him Giovanni Nicholas, because it is going to be our last baby, and I thought it would be nice to honor, my husband, his dad, and give him my husband's middle name. So that's what we're thinking for a boy. My husband does like Francesco for a boy, and we would call him Frankie, because I think Frankie is like so cute. Like, it's so, hey, Frankie, like it's so Italian. So yeah, those are really like the only names that I think we're sold on, is Juliana for a girl and Giovanni for a boy. It's tough because I also feel like you kind of have to see the baby when it comes out, to know what name is going to suit them the best, Excuse me. So, yeah, that's what we're thinking for names. Like I said, we're not going to find out. I have baby clothes for both. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to like Target or a baby store, and I'm going to buy a couple gender neutral sleepers and just wash them and bring them to the hospital. That way, if it's a boy or girl, I can dress it in gray or green or yellow. You know what I mean? Like, because you have to obviously have some outfits at the hospital for the baby. Typically, they usually keep the baby wrapped up in like their hospital onesie and blanket and all that. But yeah, I'm just going to bring some gender neutral clothes to the hospital. Just a couple little outfits, sleepers. One thing about my children is, because I'm going to have a winter baby, even in the summer, I do the same thing. I tend to always put my newborns in like footed sleepers, PJs. I tend to do that for like the first 7 to 8 weeks that they're born, because newborns are so little that they tend to get cold if you have the air conditioning on in the house in the summer, or if it's cold outside in the winter. So for the first like 7, 8 weeks that my newborn is home, they're not wearing anything but footy pajamas, literally. It makes life so much easier on me because, like, what do they need clothes for? Even if you go out, they're literally in their car seat, basically, like sleeping. You don't need to get them dressed in outfits when they're newborns. It's just a waste of laundry, in my opinion, but that's just me. So yeah, we're just taking it day by day. My son is very excited, very excited. As most of you know, I've been very transparent about my postpartum journey. And, it took me until now to kind of look at the bigger picture, but I actually don't believe I had PMDD. I believe that what I was suffering from was postpartum rage, which absolutely is a real thing. And I think that I was struggling with situational and circumstantial issues. My dynamic between my mom and I was terrible when my daughter was born, which caused her to be, as most of you know, born premature because I was under so much stress. My son was not having it when we brought her home. He was only 2 when she was born. He's going to be 6. So it's a big, big difference. And she's very loving towards babies, so I think she'll be good when the baby comes. So for those of you who might be wondering, like, oh my gosh, Vic, what are you going to do having a third baby, like postpartum wise? I wanted to let you know that I'm probably going to make a video about it, but I just wanted to share with my fellow moms that having a game plan in place and being able to combat postpartum or whatever your post-pregnancy woes are is crucial. So I have made the decision to start therapy over the next month or 2 while I'm pregnant and continue on after the baby's born. Everybody in my family, my mother included, knows their boundaries this time, and they know that if lines are crossed, that's it. Family or not, mother or not, and I'm not going to get into too much detail, I will wash my hands of people. I know that sounds very cruel, like, oh my God, you can't just cut family off, and I am here to tell you that yes, you can. If people in your life, family or not, I don't care if it's your parents, bring you more stress and are not good for your mental health, cut them off. You don't owe, as an adult, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anybody anything in this life. You owe yourself to be a good person and be mentally happy and stable. And if you're a parent, you owe your children to be the best version of you. So, I'm going to start therapy now while I'm pregnant. And I think everybody should see a therapist. I think it's wonderful. I love therapy. It's, no pun intended, very therapeutic. So yeah, I intend to do therapy. Like I said, everybody knows their boundaries. And sorry, I'm just looking out my window. What is this? Sorry, I'm looking out my window at a guy with a flashlight. My husband is working nights. Sorry, I get very paranoid when my husband works nights and I see or hear things out the window. I'm like a little baby. I think it's my neighbor and his dog, maybe, but I just saw this flashlight as I was leaving this video. Oh, it's just somebody walking a dog. Okay, my apologies. Anyway, I'm sorry I had to get up to see what it was. So yeah, everybody knows their boundaries. The therapy is going to be in place. And I also, because the baby's going to be born in the winter, I plan on resting. Here where I live in the States, men get, women get it too, but men get 3 months of, I call it paternity leave, but it's family paid leave. And my husband is going to take the 3 months to be home so we can bond as a family. And he's going to help me. I'm very open about this. I was a bottle feeder with both of my children. I did not nurse or pump. So for us, for my family dynamic, that worked because my husband was able to let me sleep and get up and feed the baby in the middle of the night. We have made many, many jokes that our almost 3-year-old daughter still doesn't sleep through the night. She's up like 2 or 3 times. Literally, she's almost 3. She still doesn't sleep through the night, guys. So for those parents that are like, oh, I bet by the time they turn 1, it's that phase is over. No, wrong, not her. She's a terror. I love my daughter, but my daughter's a terror. She has been and had middle child syndrome since the day she was born. So I think she was born for like the role of a middle child. So my husband made a joke and said, well, yeah, of course, we're going to have another one. We're already up 7 times a night with her. What's the difference? So yeah, I'm going to rest. I'm going to heal. I did have 2 vaginal deliveries with each of my children, and I'm hoping this one goes the exact same. I also had some really good epidurals. And we're just going to do what works for our family. I am concerned because there's a formula shortage right now, and both of my other children had acid reflux, so they were on special formula. So I can't even buy formula now and start stocking up because I don't know what the baby's going to be on. It's kind of funny because one thing that has also helped me navigate and combat postpartum and worry and stress and how are you going to handle it this time around is letting go, letting people come and help me after the baby's born, not caring if my house is a mess, just laying in bed and relaxing. I told my husband, take the 2 older kids out to go, to the trampoline park, the indoor trampoline park in the winter, and let me just stay here and bond with the baby. Therapy, not worrying about other moms shaming me, oh my God, you're not breastfeeding and you can, you're not pumping and you can. Listen, this is my 3rd baby. This is not my first rodeo. I am not a perfect mother. None of us are. My children are fed, they're loved, and are we making a ton of mistakes? Of course. Every parent makes mistakes. But my children have a good life, and they have 2 healthy, mentally stable parents that love them, and our foundation is strong. That's what I always tell my husband. Everything could be falling down around us, but our foundation is strong with what we're trying to teach, with what we're trying to instill. I am going to be taking on homeschooling next year when my son turns 6. And for all the moms out there listening, do even people, even if you're listening and you're like, oh, I don't have kids, I'm never going to have kids, but I have, a very dramatic and complex family that judges me. Do you? Because I'm going to tell you guys, you only get one life. Do you? Don't worry about naysayers. Don't care what people think. If you're struggling, ask for help. Ask for help. I was drowning for almost 2 years after my daughter was born in the trenches of some of the darkest places I have ever been with postpartum. Postpartum is a very slippery slope because there's so many facets to it. And this time I'm just you know what? I'm going to do what's best for me. I'm going to nip things in the bud now. I'm going to take things one day at a time. And I'm going to put some boundaries in place. And once you do that and you just say, you know what, I'm going to do what works for my family. I'm going to do what works for me. You will kind of see your stress go away. Yeah. So, like I said, I could sit here and worry all day about all the different ways that it's not going to go good after my baby's born, and how are the kids going to handle it, and am I going to get postpartum again? Oh my gosh, what if my mom and I get into it? I'm just going to breathe, and I'm just going to take it one day at a time. That's all I can do. I feel like I'm doing very proactive things now so that I'm not in a funk after the baby's born. But that's like all I can do. My husband and I agreed this is probably going to be our last one. So even something as silly to outsiders as him, getting a vasectomy, because the doctors always ask you, like, what are you going to do to stop pregnancy again if you don't want to? I'm not getting my tubes tied. If I'm having vaginal deliveries and I'm not getting a C-section where they could just tie them. I mean, getting your tubes tied is like a major surgery. You have to go back in. They have to knock you out. You're down and out for like 6 weeks. My husband even said, you're the one that's giving me all these beautiful children. That's the least I can do. And we've kind of made a joke about it. Like, I'm like, well, you're going to be on paternity leave. You might as well. So it might sound silly and very, like, minute to an outsider. But I'm going to tell you guys, you can never go wrong doing what's best for you and your family. I always say, try to pay your bills with somebody else's opinions and tell me how far you get. You're not going to get far at all. So once I kind of stopped caring about, like, this is my third baby. I don't chase anybody to see my children. My children, both of them have godparents, and I know they love my kids to death, and they're good with my kids when they see them. None of them make an effort to see my children. And it's not my job to chase them to spend time with my kids. People know where we live. People know that I'm a stay-at-home mother. 9 times out of 10, I am always around with my kids, able to hang out, able to do things. And if you can't make an effort to see your godchildren, then that's not my problem. I've learned that. It's taken 3 children and me being almost 40. I'm going to turn 40 in November. But you just have to do what's best for you and your family and your mental health. Nothing is more important than protecting your energy. So with that being said, I am so glad that you guys stopped by to listen to my ramble. I actually met with my kids' dietitian. We went and had dessert and coffee, I think 2 weeks ago, because she is now thinking she might want to be on as a co-host. And she was like, if you can just give me until September, I just need a little time, because she's very busy. So, yeah, that's really all for the update. Other than that, I'm just taking it day by day. I'm not stressing myself out. I'm already kind of like over the pregnancy. I know that sounds terrible, but I told my husband I'm exhausted. It's my third one. I'm much older, and I have 2 very active kids that don't nap. So you can imagine that, and I don't have a lot of help with my kids. It's just me. So I'm very tired, very tired. That being said, I hope that all of you are having a beautiful summer. I'm very looking forward to the fall. I joked with my husband that I can kind of be a whale and hibernate this winter in the privacy of my own home since I'm having a winter baby. But yes, I hope that you are all doing well, and I'm sending you so much love and positive vibes wherever you are, and I will keep you updated through the pregnancy for sure. So go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. I've never said that before in my life, because I do have a lot of old ASMR that people tend to like. A lot of it's like lo-fi, old school. And on that note, I will see you guys in the next video.